We've got so many leaks that it's almost impossible for me to bring you all of them. That's why yesterday I couldn't fit everything into one video, and today, September 1st, we've got even more. From The Last of Us 3 to The Witcher 4 to the Nintendo Switch, and we'll even discuss the PS5 Pro for a bit. Then, there's the Black Myth Wukong patch and Xbox launch news. We even got a huge PS Plus bonus free game this month. Well, actually 2 big surprises. Plus, we've got some fresh news on GTA 6 and another secret GTA project. But first, the question of the day. Would you buy a 2TB PS5 Pro with a PS Portal and 1 year of free PS Plus extra included for $1,000? That's a good question, right? You know, I'd probably go for something like this. But what about you? So, yes or no? Would you buy a 2TB PS5 Pro with a PS Portal and 1 year of PS Plus extra for $1,000? Let me know in the comments. Let's get into the first story of the day. So, you remember last week when I made that post about the RDR2 next-gen patch screenshot? I mentioned that we might finally get 60 FPS 4K on PS5 and said I was going to make a video about it. Well guys, I got clickbaited. The patch doesn't bring the next-gen upgrade. Fudging hell, moments like this really make me reconsider and think about just investing in a gaming PC. Here's the story. In September, the explosive FTC versus Xbox leak sent shockwaves throughout the Red Dead Redemption community after a Red Dead Redemption 2 next-gen update was found listed by a Microsoft executive in a planning email. Red Dead Redemption 2 launched in 2018 on PS4 and Xbox One, and in 2019 on PC. Considered by some to be Rockstar's greatest game, it has faced criticism from fans for a lack of meaningful updates in favor of support for GTA Online. Despite this, Red Dead Redemption 2 remains hugely popular, with over 61 million copies sold to date. Man, talk about getting hit with a curveball. This Red Dead Redemption 2 update is like getting a surprise gift that you didn't want. If you were hyped, thinking Rockstar might finally deliver that long-awaited 60 FPS, 4K next-gen patch for consoles, you'd be sorely disappointed. Rockstar recently dropped Title Update 1.32 for Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's not the next-gen upgrade fans were hoping for. The patch adds some technical tweaks like HDR10 Plus support and AMD Fidelity Super Resolution 2.2 on PC, and it fixes several bugs in Red Dead Online, like the Stables Freeze glitch. However, the one thing the community has been clamoring for, 60 FPS gameplay on PS5 and Xbox Series, was left out entirely. The frustration is real because a Microsoft leak from the FTC versus Xbox case suggested that a next-gen update for RDR2 was in the pipeline for 2023. Now, it feels like Rockstar might be dragging its feet, focused more on milking GTA Online than catering to the Red Dead fanbase. Imagine if Rockstar charged a mere $1 for a next-gen upgrade. Just think of the money that could roll in. And let's be real, they could use it to fund GTA 6's development. The fans are screaming for it, and yet here we are, stuck on older-gen graphics for one of the greatest open-world games ever made. If Rockstar keeps this up, they're not just missing out on easy money, they're also losing the trust of a community that has been loyal for years. Maybe it's time they start listening, or face the consequences of a community fed up with being ignored. And speaking of Rockstar, there are growing concerns within the gaming community that the upcoming release of Grand Theft Auto 6 could lead to a significant increase in game prices across the industry. This speculation has been fueled by comments from notable figures like Michael Dowse, developer of Baldur's Gate 3, and Strauss Zelnick, CEO of Take-Two Interactive. Michael Dowse recently suggested on X that Rockstar Games might increase the price of GTA 6 beyond the current industry standard, which typically ranges around $70. He argued that the base cost of games should be higher to reflect the growing costs of development, including inflation. Dowse mentioned that the rising production costs for AAA titles are not being matched by current pricing trends, implying that a price hike might be inevitable with the release of GTA 6. Almost all games should cost more at a base level because the cost of making them, inflation for one, is outpacing pricing trends. I don't think we'll get there with DLC promises so much as quality and communication. Everyone's just waiting for GTA 6 to do it, Dowse stated. The idea of increasing game prices isn't new for Take-Two Interactive. Zelnick argued that games, as entertainment products, should be priced according to the value they provide, rather than sticking to a flat rate. In terms of pricing for any entertainment property, basically, the algorithm is the value of the expected entertainment usage, Zelnick explained. Given GTA 6's potential to be one of the most expansive and time-consuming games, it could serve as a precedent for this new pricing model. The industry has already seen a gradual increase from the $60 price point to $70 for new releases in recent years, especially on next-gen consoles like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. The Witcher 4 enters full production, targeting next-gen consoles. Meanwhile, a new update from Polish developer CD Projekt Red, CDPR, offers insight into the development timeline for The Witcher 4. The next installment in the beloved Witcher series, which is currently a placeholder name, has officially moved from pre-production into full production. While there isn't a definitive release date yet, based on previous game development cycles, we can speculate that The Witcher 4 will likely aim for a 2028 release. To provide some context, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt was in development from 2011 until its release in 2015, while Cyberpunk 2077 underwent production from 2016 to 2020. If these development windows are any indication, a similar timeline for The Witcher 4 would make a 2028 release date plausible, aligning with the expected arrival of next-gen consoles such as the PS6 and the new Xbox. This cross-generation release strategy mirrors what happened with Cyberpunk 2077, which was released for both PS4 and Xbox One, as well as their next-gen counterparts. However, this cross-gen release strategy was a significant factor in Cyberpunk's disastrous launch due to poor optimization on older hardware. CDPR is undoubtedly aware of these challenges and is likely to take more time to ensure The Witcher 4 delivers a polished experience across all platforms. Given the increased complexity and scope of modern AAA game development, it's also possible that The Witcher 4 could take even longer, potentially releasing in 2029 or 2030. CDPR has learned from the rushed release of Cyberpunk 2077 and seems committed to avoiding a repeat of that scenario. Regardless, it's clear that The Witcher 4 is being developed with next-gen capabilities in mind, and the gaming community can only hope CDPR will deliver another classic, free from the pitfalls of their previous launch. Square Enix has confirmed that more of its games are coming to Xbox following the release of Final Fantasy XIV. This news comes after years of efforts by Xbox head Phil Spencer to bring the popular MMORPG to the platform, which finally happened in March 2024. The move marks a shift in Square Enix's strategy, as the company aims to make more of its titles available on multiple platforms, rather than focusing solely on PlayStation exclusives. In an interview with Eurogamer, Final Fantasy director Naoki Yoshida discussed the challenges of bringing the game to Xbox. He highlighted the low user base of Xbox in the Japanese market as a significant hurdle, but noted that Square Enix's policy is evolving to focus on multi-platform releases. Yoshida stated, "With Final Fantasy XIV as the starting point, we do want to release more Square Enix games on Xbox, and there will be more of our titles released on Xbox." Final Fantasy XVI. Initially released as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, it is already confirmed for a PC release. An Xbox version could follow, given Square Enix's new direction. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. They could also be ported to Xbox. This move would set the stage for the release of the third game in the trilogy on Xbox, potentially even on day one. Despite this promising shift, there's currently no timeline for when more Square Enix games will arrive on Xbox. A glitch on the PlayStation Store allowed PS Plus Extra and PS Plus Premium subscribers to download and play Final Fantasy XV for free, despite the game not being officially included in the service. But the glitch has since been fixed overnight, and the game has returned to its original price point. Before the fix, PS Plus members who access the game through a PS5 console, rather than the web store, could either stream or fully download the RPG. This access sparked curiosity since Final Fantasy XVI had not been announced as part of the PS Plus lineup for September, or had any PS Plus premium trial, making the addition of the PS Plus buttons to the PS Store listing a surprise. If you were among the subscribers who noticed this and managed to download the game, it would have been a temporary window of opportunity. Square Enix did not comment on the glitch, and it's unlikely that Final Fantasy XVI will be added to PS Plus in the near future, especially considering the timing of this occurrence was off from the usual monthly rollout schedule. I just found out something pretty interesting about Black Myth Wukong and why it isn't on Xbox yet. This story was broken by Paul Tassi from Forbes, and it turns out there's more going on than we initially thought. So, according to Paul Tassi, who wrote an article for Forbes on August 29, 2024, the reason Black Myth Wukong isn't available on Xbox yet is due to an exclusivity deal, not because of technical problems or a delay like the developers at Game Science had suggested. Tassi mentions that a source with specific knowledge of the situation confirmed this exclusivity deal, contradicting earlier reports and even Game Science's own statement. Here's the thing. Game Science had previously said that they were currently optimizing the Xbox Series XXS version to meet our quality standards, and that's why it wouldn't release simultaneously with PC and PS5. This gave everyone the impression that it was a technical issue, but Tassi's source suggests otherwise, saying it's actually about an exclusivity deal, though the specifics of how long this exclusivity lasts aren't clear. What's even more mysterious is why this has been kept under wraps, as these kinds of deals are usually made public. Microsoft, on the other hand, has hinted at something similar. They've said they are working with Game Science to bring the game to our platforms. Paul Tassi even points out that this runs counter to some rumors that suggested technical issues, like a memory leak, were to blame for the delay on Xbox. But from what he's hearing, it seems clear that it's more about business than technical stuff. It also leaves a bit of a question mark over why Game Science would mention technical optimization if there's actually an exclusivity agreement in place. I don't know. What do you think? Would you be surprised if it's just about exclusivity? Or do you think there's still something more going on behind the scenes? And speaking of PS5 Pro, here's what I think will be shown in TGS. Spider-Man 2. DLC's hints were found in the dev menu that was available with one of the updates before they quickly removed it. In the Insomniac leak, they also mentioned 3 DLC drops throughout the year, but maybe they decided to bundle them with a PS5 Pro patch to have something ready for the console's launch. I think that's going to happen. We also earlier this year heard about the Hogwarts Legacy Director's Cut, with Rocksteady developers even helping after Suicide Squad flopped, which meant that the game would get less post-launch support. Launching the Director's Cut this holiday season would be almost 2 years after the original. I don't think you want to wait much longer, and to then also tie it with a special PS5 Pro version, I think only makes sense. Other things we can expect at the State of Play are a Monster Hunter Wild release date, as the game still needs to launch in early 2025, and we'll have a big showcase at Tokyo Game Show a week or so after this State of Play. I totally think Sony will use Death Stranding 2 to promote the PS5 Pro, as well as it will of course look stunning as it's running on Gorilla's Horizon engine. Totally expecting a new trailer at the State of Play, and it will of course also have a big blowout at the Tokyo Game Show. I have some predictions as well. Like, I still think we will get something God of War, Atreus related, a standalone shorter game like Miles Morales. I don't think Ghost of Tsushima 2 will be at this State of Play. Otherwise, Sony could get away with calling this a showcase. Seems like they're not going to though, so I think they will save Ghost 2 for 2025.